Today I'm celebrating one of my favourite vocalists of all time, someone that very few people know about. There's very few people who I've shared his music with, although my deepest musical friends will all be familiar with his work. Mark Stewart came to my attention through Mark Stewart and the Maffia, a project that appeared on the onusound record label for many years and for which I give so much thanks to Adrian Sherwood, who produced a couple of albums that are absolutely legendary. Blessed Are Those Who Struggle, I believe, is the title of one of them. And he made possible an incredible musical happening. Mark Stewart had come to some limited notoriety as the lead singer of the pop group, which was a kind of jazz fusion experiment that was crossed with his absolutely brutal lyrical style, and that then became the seed for further projects in the course of his lifetime. Mark Stewart and the Maffia also combined the talents of Skip MacDonald, an incredible session guitarist, and Doug Wimbish, who was just a legendary exponent of the bass guitar, along with Keith LeBlanc, a brilliant drummer, and they formed the backbone to Tackhead and to the Maffia, of which many, many incredible pieces of music were recorded. Mark Stewart's lyrics stick with me in the most profound corners of my being to this very day. He lived by the moon and rose by the sun. He spent a life of going to do and died with nothing done. I found that lyric absolutely haunting in my adolescent years, and I've really committed myself as far as I can to make sure that that's never true for me. Speaking of that kind of unfulfilled promise that, that part of us that relinquishes when really we could push ahead and make our dreams a reality. He spoke about society in such brutal and stark context. There's a song called Liberty City that I remember experiencing in a darkened room, probably around the age of 13 or 14. Its haunting sounds absolutely providing the perfect backdrop to the lyrics, which describe a dystopian reality that is our reality. Pointing out the great darkness that lurks within the beauty of civilization. I'm not someone who thinks that humanity has I think there's great beauty in our reality, and yet one shouldn't be shy to the darkness that exists within what we are creating. I'm someone who is a mystic hippie who's into the beauty of people and all the things that we experience every day. I give thanks for being alive, and yet I'm not shy to what George Orwell pointed out, what Aldous Huxley pointed out, as the phenomenal darkness that exists within humanity and in particular modern civilization. And I believe that Mark Stewart was one such character who felt that it was his calling to point out those things that other people shied away from. It's been very interesting to play Mark Stewart's music to people over the years, and it's made me very sensitive about who I share it with, because for some people it is so frightening. I imagine that listening to Mark Stewart is more frightening than watching the worst horror film they could possibly imagine. The most brutal and honest documentary about what goes on in industry or in the higher echelons of society, because he spoke with such passionate expression of the truth, such stark poetic reality he conveyed, that the majority of people would just find it too much to contend with. So that's why he's very much he's only a choice for a select few, let's say, and he's very much what do they call it in wine? not a desired taste, well, anyway, he's not for everyone, but I love him, and that's why today I'm choosing to celebrate, on the day that he died, Mark Stewart, an incredible vocalist, a passionate artist, and someone whose integrity is clearly visible in the way that he sung. I must say, when I went to see him for the first time performing, I was really surprised to actually see him face to face. To me, he looked like a builder. Looked like he might have just walked off a building site. He did not seem like the physical embodiment of the voice that I'd already become so familiar with. It was really startling, and that was something in itself, just to realise from whence such a voice and such ideas could come. So yeah, today my love, my thoughts go out to him and to all fans of Mark Stewart.